I'm a Celebrity to Get Me Out of Here, returning to its ancestral home, the heartland in the jungle after a 3-year break. Journalist Mark Jeffers, live down under for us this morning. Morning, Jeffers, how you doing?
Mark.
Morning, how are you? Good? You good?
To see, I like the little jungle situation going on behind you. Are you in your hotel right now?
So, Mark, tell us, what do you know about the camp this year? What access have you been given? Have you met any of the celebs yet?
It's been really exciting, actually, Daniel. I've met all of the celebs now, spoken to all of them, and we've also had a look around the New Look camp. The team have done a really great job. There's some really new, good, exciting elements. The first one is a luxury sort of RV motorhome vehicle. You can see in the pictures there. That's going to have mattresses in, a light. So 2 of the people in the camp are going to basically get to sleep nicely and sleep well, whilst the others are obviously on the camp beds. And then the other new element really is they've put 2 bunk beds in. I tried to lie on one of those, and you are going to be very close with the other person. The exec producer, Ollie Nash, he said he's hoping there might be a bromance there and 2 people could sleep on those together.
That's quite nice.
But yeah, it's quite nice. But you're very close together there. I think I'd rather be up in the motorhome, to be honest with you. But they're the 2 main new elements. And then they're also changing around with the format a bit as well. We normally have 2 teams going in, sort of competing against each other. And this year they've split it into 3 teams. And they're promising more trials, more challenges before they sort of get into camp. So, yeah, they're really going back in style, really. It's back to Australia. And,
Mark, you've had an opportunity to try some of the trials, haven't you? How did you get on?
Yeah, I did a trial called Snakes and Ladders. I had a 7-foot python sort of around my shoulders.
Oh, my days.
That's going to be, I think, in one of there's a live trial this year, as there normally is, and that's going to be sort of in one of those. And they're also trying out some new food and drink. We did a shot of blended camel's testicles.
Oh, my goodness.
It's not my favourite shot that I've ever sort of necked, but yeah, I did it. Just a really horrible aftertaste. It wasn't too bad sort of getting it down, but yeah, keeping it down, I think, as usual.
As the camel's penis will always do.
But that's only one shot, though. One shot. Normally, they'd make you do about 10 shots. Do you know what I mean? So you did well.
Mark, just a quick... You must be on Hancock watch for your Mirror readers. What's the latest?
Well, he's here. Obviously, he's in isolation now this year because of COVID and stuff. All the celebs came over and sort of isolated for at least 7 days. So he's one of the late entries, we think, and he'll probably go in about the middle of next week. I'm hoping I'm going to get to speak to him before. I've got quite a few questions I'd like to ask him myself. So.
Haven't we all?
Yeah.
And obviously, we've got to ask about the weather, because the weather's been really bad. How is it with you right now? It looks great from where I'm sitting.
Yeah, it's been better the last few days. It has rained a lot, but yeah, they're confident that for the moment the sort of ground can take it. I think if there were some really big storms, we could have problems, but next few days things are looking sunny and looking good.
Thanks a million, Mark. Good to talk to you.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks so much.
No worries.
Can we have a look at that Matt Hancock picture once again? Can we get that up? Is that all right?
Which one?
The one they just put it up there just a second ago, and I think it's of him walking into. There he goes.
Oh, is that him arriving?
That's him. You can just see his face going. I'm not entirely sure I've made the right decision.
Do you think he'd be scared in the jungle? How do you think he would?
I think he's scared of the reaction about him going in the jungle.
Anyway, in just a moment, we're going to be chatting to 3 former campmates about their time on the show. But first, here's a look back at why they were so amazing in the jungle.
I don't know what cheese strings is.
Oh, you haven't lived. So it's like a plastic cheese and you peel them off so it's a cheesy string. So it's a cheese that looks like string.
I have written a couple of songs in here. I'm feeling a bit inspired at the moment.
I had a slash down there. I'm off to go wash where I did it with some water.
The new Queen of the Jungle!
At that moment.
I mean, what a 3. What a motley 3 musketeers we've got as well. Peter, Andre, Toff and Jake Quickenden join us now. Morning.
Oh, morning. So good to see you. I mean, how excited are you about this new series, guys?
I'm so excited. Honestly, I'm excited it's back in the jungle.
Yeah.
The castle was lovely, wasn't it? But it
just wasn't right, was it?
I want to see him walking across the bridges. Yeah. People are terrified even on that bit. So, yeah, I'm glad it's back in the
But
jungle.
also, like, we've got to do a round of applause for the booker this year. I've never seen so many brilliant campmates.
Banger
Come
after
on!
banger after
100%.
banger, isn't it?
Oh, so good.
Peter, are you going to be watching?
I am. Oh, definitely. I mean, it's a good, really good lineup. I was really impressed when they had Chris Moores and Boy George, but now, obviously, there's a new addition.
The Hancock.
Oh, no.
Things are gonna be fiery.
Before we
that's
get
for
on
sure.
to the cast this year, when this sort of time of year comes around, like, you know, people that take part in the show, there's like no other experience they've ever done and the friendships you made and, you know, forged for ages and stuff. Do you look back, like, this time of year comes around, do you always look back at this time of year and go, oh, God, it's happening again, and it just takes you right back, or are your memories now quite distant about it?
Well, for me, because I was on it in 2004, so that was 18 years ago.
I can't believe
You
that,
look exactly the same, Andre.
Oh,
Be
mate.
You look exactly... Look at you.
No, please.
Oh, that's a good song. I
Yeah,
downloaded
that song, Insania, was created there.
Never, ever sing in the jungle. I'm never doing that ever again. Anyway...
Well, I tell you
can we
what, the
move on?
only thing that
Can we
gives it
move on?
away is how grainy the footage was in
Oh,
2000.
yeah.
It was only 2004.
Can you believe then there was no such things as Instagram? And there was
No.
nothing like that.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Even then. No,
It wasn't coloured TVs back then.
but the thing is, there's a lot of memories that come back every year, and they're good memories. So when I hear the Strictly soundtrack every year, I'm like, oh, that was the most nerve-wracking thing I ever did. But when I hear this, it's nothing but fond memories.
Yeah.
And obviously your children came from this lovely show.
They're the only
So-
jungle bunnies ever.
Are
They're
they?
the only ones to be born from the show, I believe.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God, yeah, I think you're right. I think you're actually
Certainly
right.
admitted, anyway.
Yeah, that's true, that's true.
And Toff, you was the winner of your time. Could you, when you was in there, did you have an inkling that you was going to win, or any suggestions that you were going to win?
Oh my God, no way, Jose. I mean, I went into it thinking I was getting booted out first, 100%. And that's the beauty of this show, right? You have no idea what's going on in the outside world. So to get to the end and live that privilege of doing it, I mean,
Yeah.
there's a select few that get it, right? It was just insane. And when I hear that music, same as you, Pete, I'm like, oh my God, I feel all tingly. What an honour it was. I just can't get over it still.
It's funny, isn't it? Obviously, I've never been on it or worked on it, but it reminds me a little bit of how Big Brother was, in that it strips you back to who you are. You
Yeah.
can't hide who you are.
Yeah.
You
So-
forget about the cameras
Yeah.
after the first 24 hours.
I
You
think it's
forget.
worse than Big Brother in the sense of, like, you are stripped back
What you have to go
naked, the
through.
way you have to wash, the
Right.
way you
Yeah.
have to go in the shower.
Don't you
Love the
think
shower.
that's why, as the British public, we're so obsessed with it? Because it's such an anomaly to find a group of celebs in that setting,
Yeah.
where you actually get to know them.
But also, they don't ply you with alcohol. If you think about some of the other
Yes.
shows where alcohol's available and it brings out a different side of your personality, you've got a raw personality. That's it.
Yeah.
Whatever's going to show is
Just
going to show.
food deprivation, that's what would get
Food
me.
deprivation.
Oh,
And sleep and
Yeah.
boredom. Boredom's
Yeah.
the worst, isn't it? Like, sitting around, if you don't get a trial or you don't go after the dingo dollar, you just laid there
See,
and like...
That's when you get the good footage, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
People get bored and then
Yeah.
they do silly things.
Yeah.
What's the maddest thing
true.
you've done there, Jake?
few things that I probably can't say. I did have a wee in the camp, and that was like a big thing because I was doing my washing by the pond, and I just thought I'll just go here. So I just weed in the bush, but apparently it attracts snakes, rats, and everything.
Rats, yeah.
So I put everyone at risk. Do you know what I mean? But when you need to go, you
Did
need
you not
to go.
tell anybody, though?
They brought it up. They sat everyone round and went, "Someone's been urinating in camp."
I would have died.
I'm like, right, do I own up to this or do I try and get away with it? I put my hand up like I was at school. I was like, it was me. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
Amazing they knew.
I had a really strange thing happen. So I went. Johnny Rotten was in our show. You know,
Yeah.
This is the thing in our show. I thought they were going to focus on Johnny Rotten and Jenny Bond because Johnny Rotten was anti-establishment. Jenny Bond was obviously a raw correspondent, but they didn't really pick up on that. But he was brilliant. I went and used the toilet, whatever you call it.
dunny.
The dunny.
And there was all this complaint about someone had left it in a mess, right? Of course, you can't see what you're doing. And I knew it wasn't me. And they're all going, well, it's got to be Pete, it's got to be Pete. And then Johnny Rotten walks in straight after me going, I didn't notice anything.
It was him.
Johnny's the man, but they're still not convinced.
I
Yeah.
had to empty that dummy. And it's the heaviest
fully
thing.
shoved.
It's horrible.
It swashes around. Honestly, I got sprayed.
Hang on, is that a job you have to do?
They gave me it, and I after Edwina
crap
Curry
job.
emptying that. Oh, I tell you what.
Yeah, but it helps you with your babies, like, now.
Yeah, I suppose
Exactly.
so.
Like
But
now,
they don't
nappies are
show that.
easy.
Don't you think, boys? There's certain elements that people just don't think about. So there is no door to the loo.
Yeah, it's
There's
like
nothing.
a piece of, it's like a mesh, isn't it?
Yeah, you can see
so
right
you can
through.
actually see, if you're on the toilet, looking through, you can see people being
You're like, come in,
there.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Tough, were you there for, was your strawberry game?
Oh, it was me. It was Amir Khan and Ian Lee. We were all starving hungry. And they basically swooped in and ate strawberries and cream that they'd won
I
for
loved
us.
it, though. It was such good
Guys,
TV.
Guys, we hadn't eaten for a week. And then the lies that came in. But again, these iconic moments from the jungle. Look at them. Look how happy they are.
It's how he's dressed as a cat. It's how he's
It's
dressed
everything,
as a cat.
isn't it? It's everything that's just like the fact you'd never put those two together, the fact he's dressed as a cat, it's
And
just
look,
so I'm a celeb.
Ian Lee knows he's doing the wrong thing there
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah, but he's like,
completely.
gobble, 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 gobble.
And the
So funny.
friendships you make, I love as well. I mean, you know, Toff, we have to talk about you and Stanley. I mean, that's a friendship that's sort of lasted and lasted.
Forever. I mean, I spoke to him last night. Yeah, I mean, I think there are 55 years between us. You know, when would we have ever hung out all day, every day? And you know,
Exactly.
what we mentioned earlier about the boredom, if you've got a little mate, a little buddy that you can swing the hours away
Yeah.
with and have a laugh, you're waking up at like 5 in the morning, aren't you? And going to
But
bed
you
super
think
late.
it's a lot later, don't you? Because
you
obviously
don't.
there's
Oh,
no
yeah.
watches, nothing.
Yeah, that's right.
I end up going to bed at like 7:30 and thinking it's midnight.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stanley looks great there. He looks like
does.
The old
better than
boys.
Boris
yeah,
does now.
Yeah, I agree.
Look at it.
Oh, I adore him so
Who,
much.
who did you guys bond with while you were out there?
What, man? I mean, I fell
Well,
in
you
love.
bonded,
really.
yeah.
I was-
I mean,
Who
I'm
bonded all
only
right?
going to go there.
Yeah, but
aside
also-
from there.
Well, Johnny Rotten, I actually, he was such a nice guy. Jenny Bond, we've always stayed friends. Gosh, who else was it? Kerry, of course, Kerry won our show.
Oh, Kerry Katona,
Kerry
yeah.
Katona, so it's a really interesting time. A
about
lot
you,
of them
Jake?
we've
Do you know what? I was so surprised that I got on it. So I just left
felt
the
like
X
that.
Factor.
So your brain must have been in the...
2 weeks later, I'm bumping into Edwina Curry getting on a helicopter, not knowing who the heck this woman is. Then I'm under a tent and she's fast asleep after 10 seconds. And I'm like, how is she asleep? There's a huntsman here. And I'm just thinking, not only have I got to think that I'm in the jungle now, I'm with loads of celebrities, and I was on the dole 6 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, this is amazing. So I just embraced every second. Edwina, I had a real soft spot for Edwina. She looked after me in there, she really did.
An unexpected friendship,
Yeah,
right?
unexpected.
I
It's
love
a great
that.
line.
Yeah, me
Toff,
too.
I want, like, someone that's like, you know politics. What do you think about Hancock going in? You think it's...
I think, you know, normally I'm pretty soft on the Tories, but I think this is disgraceful. And I think, you know, someone like Penny Mordaunt going and doing Splash all those years ago, 2014, she donated all of her fee to the local Lido. It saved the Lido. Brilliant. What Matt is doing is, I think, really showing to the country that the man who's meant to be in control of our health going through this pandemic, not only did he cheat on his wife and get caught, he's now leaving his constituents to go to Australia to earn loads of money on a show and flaunting it in front of people that lost so many loved ones and went through the most horrific pain. I've never been more embarrassed about the Conservative Party ever.
Very quickly, who do you think is going to win?
Not him.
Oh, I think Olivia Atwood's got a little chance. She's really funny on socials, and I think it will do well in the jungle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
reality
Jake?
people always do well.
Yeah.
But Boy George, obviously,
Boy
like,
George,
look at that
yeah.
outfit,
How did he
legend.
get his
Don't know,
outfit like
I wanted
that?
that.
I love Boy
But I do
George.
think Jill Scott will do amazing. Obviously,
Yes,
Lionesses, she
good
was
one.
brilliant.
Don't
Thank you,
underestimate
guys.
Chris Moores. Don't
Good to have you
underestimate
with
Chris
us.
Moores.